Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today I'm sharing with you all one of my all-time favourite recipes. Yes, chicken biryani. Now this has to be one of the most famous Southern Asian dishes which is loved by everyone that I know. Luckily for you, I've made this recipe as simple as possible, so even those of you who are beginners can try this recipe. I hope you all love this recipe just as much as I do, and please do let me know if when you guys make biryani you do what I do, or if your recipe is completely different. For this recipe you will be needing 5 onions, 2 tomatoes, 3 green chilies, some ginger and garlic. Today you'll notice I'm using fresh ones. That's just because I prefer the flavour of fresh ginger and garlic in biryani. You'll also need some chicken. If you're not a fan of chicken, you can always substitute in another meat such as beef or lamb. However, if you are vegetarian, you can also add in some potatoes rather than adding meat. And finally, we'll need some rice. I tend to use basmati rice because the grains of this rice are slightly thinner and longer, which is the traditional rice that is used in biryani. But of course, if you do not like basmati rice, you can use any rice you want. For the seasonings, you will be needing 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of biryani masala. You can use homemade or store-bought, 1 pinch of cumin seeds, 3 to 4 green cardamoms, half a teaspoon of crushed chilies, half a teaspoon of red chili powder, half a teaspoon of turmeric, and half a teaspoon of crushed coriander powder. Let's begin by preparing the onions. Today I'm just going to use a chopper to dice the onions just to speed up the process. However, if you do not have a chopper, you can do this by hand too. I'm also going to use my chopper to chop my tomatoes, green chilies, ginger and garlic, just so that this mixture is prepared and ready to add in. As you can see, it's not quite done yet as there's still some larger chunks of ginger and garlic, so I'm just going to chop this some more. We need to aim to make this as fine as possible, preferably chop it until it has a paste-like consistency. As always, let's commence with frying our onions. When cooking biryani, we actually need to fry our onions a tiny bit more than normal. You'll realise that normally for other dishes we need to cook our onions until they become translucent. However, for biryani we need to fry our onions until they slightly start caramelising. Our onions are now starting to turn golden, so let's add in our tomato mixture which we prepared earlier. Make sure you mix this in properly. I'm going to fry the mixture into the onions for around 4 to 5 minutes just so that the ginger and garlic can cook properly, which will really enhance the flavours of our dish, and the aromas at this point will become very tempting. It's been a few minutes now, so we can add in our chicken. The chicken needs to cook for approximately 5 minutes before we can start adding in our spices. It's now time to add in our spices, and we need to mix it in properly to ensure all the chicken is coated with a delicious flavour. As you can see, adding the spices has really changed the colour of our dish and made it very appetizing. We need to give our chicken a stir constantly to prevent it from burning. However, if you do notice that the dish starts burning, you can always add in a tiny bit of water just to bring down the temperature and to prevent the dish from burning from the bottom. Allow the chicken to cook until it is fully cooked. At this point, the dish looks mouth-wateringly delicious. In the meantime, I'm going to start boiling the rice. Into the pan, I'm adding some salt. Now the amount you add is totally up to you and up to how salty you like your rice to be. I'm also going to add in the juice of 1 lemon. Today I'm going to be boiling the water in the kettle and I'm just going to add it into the pan. However, you can also choose to boil the water on the stove if you wish to do so. Now that the water has started bubbling and boiling properly, we can add in our rice. We can give the rice a gentle stir. Try not to break any because traditionally in biryani we have thin, long grains of rice. The rice needs to boil for approximately 5 minutes, as at this point it should be 80% done. When the rice is done, you can drain out all of the water. Our chicken is now fully cooked and it's looking divine. Now comes the slightly tricky part of forming the layers. My base layer will be rice, however if you want to add the chicken first, that is also fine. Over the top of the rice layer we can add in a layer of chicken. Make sure you spread it out properly so it covers all the rice. And now another layer of rice. Some more of that delicious chicken now. And finally a layer of rice. You can also at this point choose to add in some yellow food colouring. This is completely optional, so if you do not have food colouring at home, do not worry as this is not important. We can now put the lid on and allow the biryani to simmer on a very low heat for around 5 minutes. Five minutes have passed now, so I'm going to open the lid of my biryani and check if the rice is completely cooked. You can easily check this by taking 1 grain of rice and gently pressing it, and it should break very easily. As you can see, mine is ready to eat. Now that our biryani is cooked, I'm just going to give the rice a gentle mix. Look how flavoursome it looks. And here it is, plated up and ready to be eaten. I've served it alongside some green chutney, some yogurt and some salad. If you want my green chutney recipe, please do let me know. I hope you enjoyed watching this recipe and I hope that when you guys make biryani it is super delicious too. If you liked my video, please do hit the thumbs up button so that I know that you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!